All right, let's talk about one of Spain's best-kept secrets, Verdejo. If you're a fan of those bright aromatic white wines, but you feel like you're stuck in a bit of a rut, reaching for the same bottle over and over, well, you are in for a treat today. Let's dive in. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with what makes this grape a hidden treasure. Then we'll do a deep dive into what it actually tastes and smells like. From there, we'll trace its incredible journey, explore its perfect home in Rueda, get really practical with some awesome food pairing tips, and finally, we'll take a peek into the future of this amazing wine.
Okay, Section 1, Spain's hidden treasure. So what is it about this particular Spanish white wine that makes it so remarkable?
Let me ask you something. When you go to grab a bottle of white wine, is it always the same Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Grigio? Hey, no judgment. But if you're looking for something new, something exciting, Verdejo might just be the answer you've been searching for.
So what is Verdejo exactly? Well, on paper, it's an aromatic white grape from the Rueda region in northwestern Spain. But really, it's so much more than that. This is a wine with serious personality, it's vibrant, it's expressive, and it's all built around this incredibly refreshing acidity that makes it just fantastic with food.
That all sounds pretty good, right? But let's get down to brass tacks. What does it actually taste and smell like when it's in your glass? This is the important part.
A great Verdejo is kind of like a garden in a glass. When you smell it, you get this blast of bright citrus. Think lemon and grapefruit, and then some softer notes like white peach. But then comes the twist. You get these really unique, savory, herbaceous notes. We're talking fennel, bay leaf, maybe even a little hint of anise. That's the stuff that really sets it apart from the crowd.
And then you take a sip. Wow. All those amazing smells just come alive on your palate. The first thing you notice is that vibrant acidity, which is what makes the wine feel so alive and refreshing. It's got a nice medium body, not too thin, not too heavy, and it usually finishes with this classic slightly bitter mineral note. And that's not a bad thing. It's quintessentially Verdejo. It gives the wine structure and makes you immediately want to take another sip.
And here's where it gets really cool. This grape is incredibly versatile. Most of the Verdejo you'll find is bottled young to keep it super fresh and citrusy, but some winemakers are getting creative and aging it, sometimes in oak, and that completely transforms the wine. It becomes richer, nuttier, with these complex flavors of honey and spice. It just goes to show you, Verdejo can be your perfect, easy-drinking summer wine and a serious, complex bottle for a special dinner.
So, where on earth did this grape come from? Well, its journey through history is this incredible story of survival and resilience. It's pretty fascinating.
Just look at this timeline. It's a real roller coaster. The story starts way back in the 11th century when the grape first landed in Spain from North Africa. It did great for hundreds of years, but then phylloxera. This tiny little pest just decimated Europe's vineyards in the 19th century, and Verdejo almost vanished from the face of the earth. Seriously. But then, in the 1970s, a visionary producer named Marqués de Risco basically brought it back from the brink. And today, it's a certified rising star on the world stage.
So much of what makes Verdejo special comes from where it's grown. You absolutely cannot talk about this grape without talking about its home, the Rueda region of Spain.
And to really get Rueda, we have to talk about this word you hear all the time in wine, terroir. It sounds fancy, but all it really means is everything about a place. The climate, the soil, the altitude, that works together to give a wine its unique signature. It's the wine's fingerprint.
So what's so special about Rueda's terroir? Well, it starts with this number, about 800 meters. That's the altitude. It means the vineyards get these hot, sunny days that ripen the grapes perfectly. But, and this is the crucial part, the nights are really cool. That big temperature swing locks in the grape's natural acidity, which is the key to keeping the wine so fresh and vibrant.
Okay, the other big piece of the puzzle is the soil. It's poor, sandy, and rocky. Now you might think that sounds bad, but for grapevines, it's perfect. The vines have to struggle a bit to survive, which means they put all their energy into producing fewer, smaller grapes, but those grapes are packed with incredibly concentrated flavors and aromas. And a cool little historical fact, those sandy soils are what helped protect the original vines from that nasty phylloxera bug.
And believe me, the people in Rueda take their star grape very, very seriously. To put Verdejo on the label from the Rueda DO, that's its official region, the wine has to be made from at least 85% Verdejo grapes. It's a rule that protects the quality and guarantees that what you're drinking is a true taste of the grape and the place it comes from.
All right, we know what it is, what it tastes like, and where it's from. So now for the fun part, how do we actually enjoy it? Let's talk about pairing and pouring.
This is where that amazing acidity we keep talking about really gets to shine. It makes Verdejo a phenomenal food wine. I mean, it's a no-brainer for anything from the sea. Think grilled fish, zesty ceviche, oysters, perfect. Those herbaceous notes make it a dream with salads and fresh cheeses like goat cheese. And that zippy character can even stand up to the bold flavors of some Asian dishes, like a spicy Thai salad or sushi. And of course, being Spanish, it's an absolute natural with tapas and paella.
So when you're looking for a bottle, you've got options. There's the classic Rueda style, which is that young, fresh benchmark version. Then you have more modern styles that might be a bit more fruit-forward. Don't forget those complex, barrel-aged versions we talked about, labeled con barrica. And get this, you can even find sparkling Verdejo. It's called espumante, and it is a delicious, refreshing treat.
Okay, last but not least, let's look ahead. What does the future hold for this ancient grape that's suddenly having a huge modern moment?
Well, there's some really cool stuff happening. We're seeing a big push towards organic and sustainable farming to let that unique terroir speak even louder. Winemakers are also playing with things like using a wild native yeast from the vineyard to create more complex wines. But it's not all easy. The big challenge on the horizon is climate change and figuring out how to adapt to keep that perfect balance of ripeness and acidity that makes Verdejo so darn special.
And really, this quote just says it all. What was once a hidden treasure in Spain is now cementing its place as one of the most promising white grapes on the entire international wine scene. It's a pretty incredible comeback story. So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As our tastes change and the climate continues to shift, how will this ancient grape keep reinventing itself for a whole new generation of wine drinkers? It's a fascinating future to think about, maybe over your next glass of Verdejo. Thanks so much for joining me.